there is a quiet strength inside every human being, a strength that does not shout, does not argue, and does not beg to be understood. That strength is silence. In a world that rewards noise, reactions, and constant opinions, silence has become rare. And because it is rare, it is powerful. Today, I want to share with you 8 situations where silence is not just wise, it is essential. Andrew Cloud's judgment, words spoken in anger, often become lifelong regrets. Silence in that moment is self-respect. It gives you time to breathe, to cool down, to respond rather than react. Silence saves relationships that anger could destroy. Some people do not want peace. They want a reaction. When you stay silent, you deny them access to your energy. Silence confuses manipulators. It shows maturity. It says, I will not give you control over my emotions. Not everyone is meant to understand you. Explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you is exhausting. Silence lets your actions speak. Over time, truth reveals itself without your defense. Gossip feeds negativity and damages trust. Silence in these moments protects your character. You don't need to participate in conversations that shrink your soul. Walk away quietly. That silence builds dignity. Insults are reflections of pain, insecurity, or ignorance. Responding lowers you to their level. Silence shows strength. It tells the world you know your worth and don't need validation. Silence gives clarity. When you don't have all the information, pause. Listen, observe. Some of the best decisions are made after moments of deep silence. In silence, move in silence, let success make the noise. Not everyone needs to know your plans, your goals, or your next move. Silence protects your dreams from doubt and negativity. Sometimes silence is an act of love. Sometimes it is an act of wisdom. If words cannot heal, help, or inspire, silence is the better choice. Silence is often misunderstood. In a loud world that celebrates quick responses, strong opinions, and constant explanations, silence is mistakenly seen as weakness. But in reality, silence is one of the highest forms of emotional intelligence, self-control, and inner strength. Emotionally intelligent people understand something very important. Not every thought needs to be spoken, and not every emotion needs an audience. When you choose silence, you are choosing awareness over impulse. You are choosing control over chaos. Emotional intelligence begins with the ability to which you recognize you are feeling, understand why you are feeling it, and decide how to respond rather than react. Silence creates that space. It gives your mind time to settle, your heart time to calm, and your wisdom time to rise. Without silence, emotions control you. With silence, you control your emotions. Many people speak too quickly because they are afraid of being misunderstood, disrespected, or ignored. They believe that if don't speak, they will lose power. The truth is the opposite. The moment you stop reacting emotionally, you regain your power. Silence communicates confidence. It shows that you are secure enough not to explain yourself to everyone and strong enough to walk away from unnecessary conflict. Silence is also a sign of self-respect. When you argue with every opinion, respond to every insult, or defend yourself against every accusation, you give others control over your emotional state. Emotionally intelligent individuals protect their peace. They know their worth does not depend on winning arguments or proving points. They understand that inner calm is more valuable than external approval. In difficult conversations, silence can speak louder than words. A calm pause can stop an argument, reduce tension, and shift the energy in the room. It shows maturity. It shows wisdom. It shows that you are thinking, not reacting. People who master silence are often the ones who are listened to most when they finally speak. Silence also strengthens your ability to listen. When you are quiet, you observe more. You notice body language, tone, intention, and truth hidden between words. Listening is a powerful skill, and silence is its foundation. The more you listen, the more you understand people, situations, and yourself. That understanding leads to better decisions, healthier relationships, and a more peaceful life. Emotionally intelligent silence is not about suppressing feelings. It is about choosing the right time, the right words, and the right response. It is knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. It is realizing that sometimes silence is protection, sometimes it is strategy, and sometimes it is wisdom in its purest form. In the long run, silence builds respect. People may ignore loud voices, but they pay attention to calm presence. Silence carries authority. It shows that you are grounded, centered, and emotionally strong. And in a world full of noise, the person who can remain silent holds a rare and powerful advantage. Silence is not weakness. It is mastery. It is emotional intelligence in action. One of the greatest lessons in personal growth is understanding that not every situation requires your reaction. Many people exhaust themselves trying to explain, defend, or prove something in moments that were never meant to be won. Wisdom teaches us that some battles are distractions, not challenges, and silence is often the most powerful response you can choose. Calm is a form of strength. When chaos invites you to react, remaining calm is an act of self-mastery. Your words are energy, and every unnecessary argument drains that energy. When you speak in every battle, you slowly lose focus on what truly matters. Silence protects your inner peace and keeps your mind clear for the battles that actually deserve your attention. There are people who thrive on conflict. They provoke, criticize, and challenge not to find truth, but to feel powerful. Engaging with such people gives them exactly what they want. Silence removes their fuel. When you refuse to argue, you take away their control. Calm confuses those who expect emotional reactions. It shows that you are not easily shaken and that your peace is not negotiable. Not every accusation deserves an answer. Not every opinion deserves a debate. Not every misunderstanding needs immediate clarification. Sometimes the best response is patience. Time has a way of revealing truth more clearly than words ever could. Silence allows situations to unfold naturally without forcing outcomes or escalating emotions. Choosing calm over conflict also reflects deep self-confidence. When you are secure in who you are, you don't feel the need to convince everyone else. You understand that people will believe what they want, see what they want, and hear what they are ready to hear. Silence becomes a boundary. It says, I will not fight to be understood by those who have already decided not to listen. But calm silence also helps you maintain clarity. Arguments often blur reality. Emotions rise, logic falls, and conversations turn into power struggles. By staying silent, you step out of emotional chaos and into awareness. You give yourself the chance to observe, to think, and to respond thoughtfully if needed. This clarity leads to better decisions and fewer regrets. There is also dignity in choosing silence. Loud reactions may feel powerful in the moment, but calm restraint earns long-term respect. People notice who loses control and who remains composed. Silence in conflict is not surrender. It is strategic withdrawal. It allows you to rise above negativity instead of being pulled into it. Life is too short to fight every battle. Your energy is precious. Spend it on growth, purpose, and peace, not on arguments that lead nowhere. Learn to ask yourself, was this worth my calm? If the answer is no, silence is your victory. In the end, remember this, battles come and go, but your inner peace is something you must protect daily. Choose silence when the fight is unnecessary. Choose calm when chaos calls. Because true power is not in how loudly you speak, but in how peacefully you stand. Silence is more than the absence of words. It is a powerful shield. In a world full of noise, opinions, criticism, and constant comparison, silence becomes a form of protection. It guards your peace, preserves your energy, and quietly shapes your future. Those who understand the value of silence live with greater clarity and fewer regrets. Every conversation costs energy. Every argument drains focus. Every unnecessary explanation pulls you away from your purpose. When you speak without intention, you give pieces of yourself to situations that do not deserve them. Silence helps you conserve that energy. It allows you to choose where your attention goes and who has access to your emotions. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is essential for personal growth and mental well-being. Peace is fragile. It can be disturbed by a single careless comment, a pointless argument, or an emotional reaction. Silence acts as a buffer between you and the chaos around you. When you remain silent in negative situations, you create emotional distance. That distance gives you control. Instead of being pulled into drama, you stay centered. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond thoughtfully, or sometimes you don't respond at all. Silence also protects your future. Many people damage relationships, reputations, and opportunities by speaking at the wrong time. Words spoken in anger, frustration, or ego can never be taken back. Silence, on the other hand, prevents permanent damage. It gives you time to reflect, to choose wisely, and to act with intention. One moment of silence can save you from years of regret. When you move in silence, you reduce interference. Not everyone needs to know your plans, struggles, or next steps. Sharing too much invites opinions, doubts, and negativity. Silence keeps your vision safe. It allows you to grow without pressure and succeed without unnecessary attention. Progress made quietly is often the most powerful. Silence also strengthens emotional resilience. When you stop reacting to everything, you stop letting everything control you. You become less sensitive to criticism and less dependent on validation. Your peace becomes internal, not something others can disturb. This emotional stability is a foundation for long-term success and fulfillment. Protecting your peace does not mean avoiding communication. It means choosing it wisely. Silence teaches you when to speak and when to walk away. It helps you recognize that some people will never understand you, and some situations will never improve through words alone. In those moments, silence is wisdom. Energy saved through silence can be invested in growth. Instead of arguing, you learn. Instead of complaining, you improve. Instead of reacting, you plan. Over time, this creates a powerful shift. Your future becomes calmer, clearer, and more intentional. Silence is not about hiding. It is about preservation. It is about understanding that your peace, energy, and future are valuable. Guard them carefully. Speak with purpose. And when silence serves you better, embrace it fully. True strength is quiet. It does not announce itself, argue loudly, or demand attention. The strongest people in life are often the ones who speak less and observe more. They understand that wisdom grows in silence and power grows in patience. While others rush to speak, they pause. While others react, they watch. And in that observation, they gain an advantage that noise can never provide. Speaking less does not mean having nothing to say. It means choosing words carefully. Every word you speak reveals something about you, your emotions, your intentions, your level of control. Strong individuals are aware of this. They know that unnecessary words can weaken their position, expose their plans, or invite conflict. Silence, on the other hand, keeps their mind clear and their presence grounded. Observation is a skill built through silence. When you stop talking, you start noticing. You notice how people behave when they think no one is paying attention. You hear what is said and what is avoided. You understand motives, patterns, and truth beyond words. This awareness helps you make better decisions, avoid harmful situations, and choose the right people to trust. Many people confuse loudness with confidence. In reality, insecurity often speaks the loudest. Those who constantly explain themselves, interrupt others, or dominate conversations are often seeking validation. Strong people don't need to prove anything. Their calm presence speaks for them. They are comfortable in silence because they are comfortable with themselves. Silence also creates authority. When someone speaks rarely but thoughtfully, people listen closely. Their words carry weight because they are not wasted. Speaking less increases impact. It turns communication into intention rather than impulse. Strong people understand that timing matters as much as content. Observing more also protects you from manipulation. When you talk too much, you reveal your emotions, fears, and desires. When you observe, you learn about others without exposing yourself. This balance gives you control. It allows you to respond strategically rather than emotionally. Silence encourages self-awareness. When the outside noise fades, you hear your own thoughts more clearly. You reflect, you grow. You understand yourself better. This inner understanding strengthens confidence and reduces the need for external approval. In relationships, silence can prevent unnecessary conflict. Listening more than speaking builds trust and understanding. It shows respect. It allows others to feel heard without you needing to dominate the conversation. Strong relationships are built on attentive silence, not constant talking. Life rewards those who can pause, those who observe before acting, those who speak with purpose. Strength is not measured by how much you say, by how much you understand. Silence sharpens perception, deepens wisdom, and builds unshakable inner power. The strongest people don't rush to speak. They watch, they learn, and when they finally speak, their words matter. One of the most valuable life skills a person can develop is the ability to know when not to speak. This skill is rarely taught, yet it shapes how others perceive you, how conflicts unfold, and how much respect and influence you carry in the world. Words have power, but restraint has even more. Choosing silence at the right moment is not accidental. It is a sign of wisdom, discipline, and emotional maturity. Many people speak to fill silence, to defend their ego, or to gain approval. They feel uncomfortable when there is quiet, so they rush to talk, often saying things they later regret. Knowing when not to speak means being comfortable with pauses. It means understanding that silence does not reduce your value, it often increases it. When you are selective with your words, people listen more carefully when you finally speak. Respect is built through self-control. When you resist the urge to interrupt, argue, or react emotionally, others see you as composed and confident. Silence communicates strength. It shows that you are not easily provoked and not desperate to prove yourself. This quiet confidence earns admiration, even from those who disagree with you. Power also grows in silence. Speaking too much can expose your intentions, weaken your position, and invite unnecessary resistance. When you hold back, you keep control of the situation, you observe reactions, gather information, and choose the right moment to act. Silence allows you to respond strategically rather than impulsively. In leadership, knowing when not to speak is essential. A good leader listens more than they talk. They allow others to express themselves, make mistakes, and grow. Their silence creates space for ideas and trust. When they do speak, their words guide rather than dominate. In conflict, silence can de-escalate tension. Arguments often continue because both sides feel the need to be heard. Choosing silence breaks that cycle. It cools emotions and shifts the dynamic. Silence does not mean avoidance. It means choosing peace over pride. This life skill also protects relationships. Harsh words spoken in emotional moments can leave permanent scars. Silence gives time for emotions to settle and clarity to return. It helps you speak with kindness rather than anger. Knowing when not to speak is also about self-awareness. It requires understanding your triggers, your emotions, and your intentions. It is the ability to pause and ask, will my words improve this situation or make it worse? If the answer is unclear, silence is often the wiser choice. Over time, this skill builds influence. People trust those who speak with intention. They respect those who are not reactive. Silence becomes your strength, your boundary, and your advantage. Mastering silence is mastering yourself. And self-mastery is the foundation of true power and lasting respect. Silence is not the absence of confidence, it is the presence of wisdom. In a world that constantly pushes you to react, explain, and defend, choosing silence is an act of strength. It reflects emotional intelligence, self-respect, and deep inner control. When you learn when to speak and when to remain silent, you stop wasting energy on unnecessary battles and start investing it in growth, peace, and purpose. Silence protects your emotions, your reputation, and your future. It allows you to observe more, understand better, and respond with intention rather than impulse. It builds respect without demanding attention and creates power without aggression. The calmest person in the room often holds the greatest authority. Remember, not every situation needs your words, but every situation needs your awareness. Master silence, and you master yourself. Because sometimes the strongest statement you can make is saying nothing at all.